with that, I am going to bring you my amazing coach. He promised to fix my co-host situation. I don't know if he did. Did you fix it already, Robert?
Not yet. I mean, I can't get into the really back end there yet.
Oh,
Once this is totally overdone, I'll get into your actual account to fix it because I don't
okay.
want to close this in order to fix it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen if you do.
And not only that, what would it take to help get you back on schedule?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm on schedule. Don't worry. You have a full half hour. Don't worry.
Okay.
I can take it out of, I always take it out of my noon hour because I give myself an hour, but I don't need a full hour. So that's good.
Say your moon hour.
My noon hour. I'm going to read your bio now. So this is Robert J. Moore. He's my coach. Hang on, let me put him on the speaker. There we go. Robert J. Moore, a seasoned professional, has been prominently featured in Forbes and Disrupt magazines and others that I don't see on here, but I'm just going to read what he tells me. He is an internationally awarded bestseller and the founder of Next Level Coaching. Robert played a key role in achieving the Guinness World Record and Global Recognition Award. I was there, anyways, impacting numerous lives through his coaching programs. Me. Over the past 15 years, Robert was elevated as high-end as Robert has elevated his high-end mastermind programs to global recognition, becoming a sought-after teacher for individuals ranging from beginners to experts or medium to super experts. I'm his favorite student. I don't care what anybody says. He imparts the precise techniques and strategies he employs in his daily business operations. Robert generously shares his high performance methods with clients, enabling them to replicate his success in a fraction of the time. That's true. He is pretty quick. He firmly believes that every business deserves success in its respective field. Magazines, worldwide, national TV programs, and radio shows have conducted interviews with Robert. How humble. He didn't even name any of these. He has been invited to speak on prestigious stages like Empower Talks, alongside luminaries such as Jack Canfield, Les Brown, Bob Proctor, Eric Thomas, Douglas Vermeeren, and Armin Morin, and Marianne Padjan. I don't see that in there, but I added that in. In addition to coaching accolades, Robert has earned noteworthy awards, including 9 for his 2023 documentary titled Reinventing Freedom, which I'm in. Hello, sorry. This is my show. I can do whatever I want. This documentary chronicles Robert J. Moore's inspirational journey from homelessness and prison to achieving recognition in Forbes. My goodness. It serves as a testament to his resilience and triumph, which is true. Recently, April 2024, Robert was awarded the Legends of Coaching Award by Forbes Business Awards. And with that, I present to you my favorite coach, well, one of my favorite coaches, Robert J. Moore. Take it away.
I want to say thank you so much for that. That was pretty cool. Even adding yourself in there was kind of neat. And not only that, here's one thing. She's really humble about something too. I haven't heard her mention this yet. I'm going to say it myself. I want to congratulate yourself too, because you've been nominated for a Canadian Choice Award.
Oh, yes.
Award. And you know, like straight up forward, I mean, when you're looking at leadership with a heart, Marianne has it. You know, a lot of people say she's like my sister, the off branch of me. And that's very much possibly so because, you know,
but like, a good day.
Yeah, a good day. Get her on an off day after 10 o'clock and she might not be. She's not so comfortable.
10 p.m. he's talking about because it's a going joke. I don't like to answer my phone for many people after 9 o'clock, and 10 is absolutely my limit. And at 10 o'clock, I tune out.
We've
Like,
done coaching sessions 3 o'clock in the morning, like, it doesn't really matter. But I mean, that's the way I work with my students. I mean, like, I always there for them. I'll always be there for them no matter what. I mean, I don't close my eyes to go to sleep to sit there and say, okay, well, hey, my phone's off. If you need to call and you're stressed, call. You know what I mean? Especially if you know my number. A lot of people, only people that really know my number are the ones that I give it to that I'm working with. And some of those don't even get it because I know how much of a pest they can really be. But when you look at that leadership of the heart, a lot of people know me as the kind of person that I don't give a shit about your feelings. I care more about your business because your feelings get in the way,
he's
right?
not.
But I do have a heart that goes with it. And now the thing is, once we start looking at your business, you start seeing the softer side of me because then you're not focusing more on your emotions. A lot of people say, oh, if I do this, this person's going to think of me this way. Who gives a crap what they think? If you're comfortable doing that and that's your business to elevate it, then do it. Look, I set up this years ago, like probably about 15 years ago. I set up a meeting, right? And I had 300 people. I was going to have in my mind, this is in my mind, I was going to have 300 people in Hamilton, Ontario. And it was at the college there. No problem, man. I'm going to have 300 people, got room for it. I got food. I just bought $300 worth of food to feed everybody, sandwiches and everything else. I had 4 people show up at that event. 4 people. Room for 300. I had 4 people show up. So what I had to do was play the role and put all the food in the different chairs so the acoustics in the room wouldn't sound so hollow. And then I put the 4 people sitting in the chair right here while I got up and spoke. And I had the camera right behind them to make it look like the room was full. And I kept looking over here at the potato salad. And I was sitting there saying, yes, you with the red sweater. That's right. I see you're agreeing with me because, you're not in your head. I said, I love it. I said, how about the lady beside you? Do you also agree? Gives me thumbs up. And, they're just advertising it that way. Now, afterwards, I asked all 4 of those people if they can actually do a review of it, but as in, hundreds of thousands of people there or whatever, right? They did. So the next one I did, when I got online, I said, you guys missed an event. It was full. It was full, all right, full of food. And I didn't know what to do with all the food. I had to send people off with trays of food. I mean, like 4 people that were there. I ate sandwiches for a month, literally. What I did from there is I advertised it like it was full, and they spoke like it was full. The next one was 25 people, then 150 people, then 300 people. Now, I mean, if you guys know Satish Verma, he's the CEO of Think and Grow Rich. He says I always undercut myself. I always don't put myself out there enough. He says he thinks I could be one of the best at what I'm doing and the style of what I'm doing it. And he's probably right. Because I mean, like, I just found out this morning, I congratulate myself. I'm writing myself out right now before the time. It looks like I got another feature going in Forbes. I just found out this morning. And you know what? It was just right out of the wall. I won the Global Recognition Award. They're actually putting me in Forbes, Georgia. And I said, wow, geez, this is beautiful stuff over here. I didn't expect that. I did not expect that at all. It was just something that just blew me out of the water. And the person that nominated me was actually my ex-editor, which is actually Marianne's editor now, Pat. So that's a beautiful thing to see. So I built businesses to the millions. Magnetic entrepreneur, I sold off to give someone else a chance. It wasn't about the money. This is what I'm going to get at. This is very, very serious right here if you guys want to pay attention. It's not about the money when you're building a business. It's not about the money. Yeah, money comes along if you do it the right way. The problem is a lot of people don't look at the passion. They don't want to put their passion on the table. They don't want to show people their passion. They don't want to let people know their true, what they're really able to do. If I want to do a course of making $1 million, I mean, it's so easy to do. You can do it so many different numbers. You can put 5,000 people at $17 a month. I mean, come on, you got it. That's not that hard to do. You can actually do $1,000 and times that by what? 100? You got it? You know what I mean? Like you can get it. It's not that hard to do. Here's the difference though. When you use your passion, people see you for what you can give them as a solution. They don't look at what they can not benefit out of. Now they can see a benefit out of it. When you're putting a solution out there, like Marianne did, right? With you guys here today, she obviously got you guys here. She gave you a solution. It's a platform to get the word out, right? And then share the word and then share the stage with other people, which is amazing. You know what I mean? Like I remember the first time I shared stage with Les Brown, Bob Proctor, I was sandwiched right between them. I didn't even know either one of them were there when I got asked. It was like right out of the blue. Robert, would you like to speak? My other speaker never showed up. I said, okay, sure, no problem. What would you like me to speak on? Boom, okay, no problem, let's do it. Les Brown went up there and I said, okay, that's kind of cool. I didn't know Les Brown was here. Then I got up and then all of a sudden Bob Proctor gets up and Bob Proctor says straight up forward, and I even have this on tape and I couldn't believe it. He says, I have a problem. He says, I don't like to get up on stage and speak after a good speaker. He goes, that really makes me feel I got to do extra work now. And I stand up. I said, Bob, hold on. What do you mean? I said, he goes, Robert, you're a very good speaker. He goes, and I don't know how to get up speaking after that. He says, I don't want to take that away from you. I said, you're not going to take that away from me. I said, you're an amazing speaker. He goes, but you killed it up here. And I said, holy cow, coming from a guy like that, you know what I mean? And then Bob Proctor, being that name, the high-end name that he is, gave me a good boost. So then I turned around, I ended up being on stage with Jack Canfield, Satish Verma, and E.T., and all these other people. And the only reason why I got that is because I built my confidence up. So I built it with my heart, body, and soul. A lot of people sit there and say, okay, well, how do you get out there? There's two ways to get out there. You want to be credible, you can be credible in person, be on stages, be at meetings, be at events, and do this. You're credible that way because you're credibly there and you're letting people know what you're about. So you're socializing, but you can also be credible online. If you're online being credible, takes a little bit extra work. I mean, you got to get on different events like this. You got to sit there and move yourself forward and make sure that you get pictures, videos, and everything else to show the differences. That makes a difference online. That's online presence of credibility. A lot of people don't know this. I mean, I've become very credible with the stuff I've done. I've won so many different awards and so many different things I've been in, magazines all over the world. People asking me to speak. I've shared stages with some of the most prestigious people in the world. You know what I mean? And now I win, like right behind me over here. I mean, when Forbes Awards gave me that award for Legacy Coach, that is a powerful thing. I never thought something like that would happen in my world. But you know what? That's when you win the things. That's when you achieve the things, is when you're not expecting the things. When I got this email this morning, I didn't expect to hear, okay, we're going to feature you in Forbes. Wow. Okay. Where do we start? I mean, and what's the catch? No catch. You won the award. We're putting you in there. I said, now you're talking my language. So one of the biggest things in the world is don't take things for granted. If you have a heart and you want to put your heart out there and push it out there a little bit more with your business, make sure you use empathy. Make sure you use that empathy. Listen actively for the team members. Listen actually to the people you're working with. You know, like don't sit there and say, oh yeah, interrupt them all the time. Or you want to actively listen to them. You want to collaborate with them. So what I'm doing in my business is I've asked people to help build a program with me. It's a year-long program. It costs money, of course. I mean, but the same thing is when they're building that program, they're helping me out. Not just me, but I'm helping their businesses out because we're incorporating that into their business as well. So everything that's happening that we're building, we're incorporating in all the businesses that people take place in. So every business that comes out, like I'm certified in AI. So I do a lot of AI, do a lot of different things that actually actively puts things out. Like right now, things are being posted and I don't know what's being posted, but AI is doing it for me. And I set it up that way, but it's all positive stuff to reflect towards marketing towards my business. So also you got to support, you got to support the other person. I mean, you can't sit there and be biased and say, hey, listen, I don't think that's going to work for you. How do you know? I mean, if the person wants to sell shoes online, let them. That's their business. Support them in that. Teach them how to get out there more. Teach them how to be more responsible. Make sure you show them the foundation and structure of the business. Because if you don't have those two things, you don't have a business. Now, I've taught people right from the grassroots right up to multi-millionaires. And some of them don't have a foundation. I asked them, what's your foundation? Where's the leak? The guy keeps telling me, oh, I'm losing money here, I'm losing money there. But why are you losing money? What's the leak? We worked it out that one of the leaks were his own child. His own child was taking money here and there, not working. So we fixed that leak, and then he felt a lot better about it. How about the recognition? You want to be recognized? Don't go to Walmart in your pajamas and put a different facade online or in person. Be the same person all along. You see me right now wearing this, that's what I'll wear. I'll wear that right on stage. I might wear a nice coat over top of it, but I'm not wearing no suit and tie. Forget it. It's not me. I don't care what anybody says. If I'm winning an award or I'm a Grammy award or something, yeah, I might slam one on just because it's qualified and you have to do it. When I've done the award ceremony for mine, I put a blue tie on. I was the only one there with a blue tie on. And the only reason why is I hate things around my neck. One thing I did was I made sure it was loose enough and it was the kind that you could just pull right off. I didn't like tie it like fancy or not. I can't do none of that crap. It's something I just can't do. So look at the resilience of things, okay? Lead by example. Show how to navigate changes. Now, a lot of people that do know me do know the fact that I was raised a little different from others. I got connected to different people, different ways. Straightforward, I did 17 years in prison, in and out, did 7 years on the streets. I was hanging around with the bikers, the mafia. I did things I don't really want to talk about, which I won't talk about. But I mean, that train of thought is still there when someone either doesn't pay me or doesn't do or cusses me up and criticizes me behind my back. That train of thought is still there, but the action behind it is not. There's a difference. I'm not acting on those thoughts what I like to do to that person. You know what I mean? I'll let it go after. I'll laugh at myself saying that's stupid thinking, get rid of it. So I want to show people by example that, hey, listen, things will happen in your life. People will forget to pay. How do you react to that? How do you deal with that? You know what I mean? Like, you can't just sit there and say, well, I'm going to go wring your neck if you don't do this, or threaten them, or, you know what? It happens. And a lot of times, hey, listen, check this out. Another guy I gave $1,000 to, gave $1,000, not cash, but business-wise, products and everything else, $1,000. Okay, he kept promising me, oh, I'll pay you $200 here, I'll pay you $200 here. I said, okay, well, when you get it, we chose together to do it this way, so let's work it out this way. He never came back because he didn't know how to face me because he owed me $1,000. Well, sometimes getting rid of a person for $1,000 is sometimes the best thing. You think about it, it could have cost me a lot more down the road. Right now, I've seen $200 here to my brothers. My brothers wouldn't talk to me over $200. Right now, I wish my brothers were here to tell the story, but I lost all 3 of them due to overdose. So 3 brothers of mine actually physically died on overdose. Different years, you know. But I mean, when you're looking at the situation, you're looking at, you want to, what's the importance? What are you trying to teach? Who are you trying to reach? Know your audience, right? This goes way beyond the strategy and the results, way beyond that. You know, when I sit there and work with people, because of the fact of my education, you don't see my education up on the wall. You see my achievements here. My education, I didn't do to impress anybody. I could be called doctor right now. I'm not using that as an example, right? I'll tell you why. I used my education to build me to who I am because I couldn't figure out who I was. I was a gangster. I was, in a bad world I was in. And when I became clean and sober 19 years ago, it's like I didn't know this life right here, right now existed. So I went to school. And I had to dry out first and I had to go to school. So I got my social service worker diploma. I got my addictions degree. I got my BA in psychology. I got my master's in counseling psychology. I got my harm reduction, mental health crisis, and 200 doctorate degrees. The reason why you don't see them on the wall is because I utilize those skills, and all the things I actually did, my thesis or my assignments and that, were all based on things I was troubled with. Anger management was my thesis because that was the most thing I had to deal with. I had to deal with anger every day. I was so angry at the world, I'd fight everybody because I was so angry at me. It wasn't even the world, it was me. So when I learned that it was interior, the problem was in me and not anybody else, that's when things changed. I started moving that forward. Plus, I did the California 4-step. Those who don't know, that's featured off of it's like AA and NA and all the things. So I did all the different steps I had to do, and when I reached the 5th step, taking a moral inventory of yourself and actually telling someone else about the whole concept of what I went through in my life, what was keeping me drinking and drugging, the guy looked at me when I was done it and laughed. Now, I mean, to me, that was holding me down, making me run back and forth and having some booze or drugs, and I couldn't deal with my emotions. And he laughed at me. I'm like, what the hell are you laughing at? I'm going to knock this guy out. You know what I mean? He's laughing at me. And this guy was an ex-biker. He wasn't one to mess around with. He would have fought me in a second. But he told me something while laughing that actually made me think. He says, you're telling me this stuff held you down. And he goes, but there's people out there that have been through worse and that made it. He says, why is this keeping you down? And it made me think, okay, if people are going through this worse and they made it, that gives me hope. So we went out to the fireplace, we burnt all that paperwork, and he gave me 5 minutes alone to just think and feel less embarrassed about what I was going through. And I was actually really embarrassed because some of the things I had to talk about weren't things you tell someone unless they were a biker. You know what I mean? Like, you don't sit there and talk about you kicked indoors and did things like that. I mean, can't tell that to a police officer, that's for sure. You know what I mean? So it was a rough go. It was a rough go at first, but like I said, that education I utilized to figure out where my behavior was, to help my behavior to become what it is today. Today, when I'm working with people, I could tell them by the physiology of their facial expressions, their body language, their tone of voice, the way they write things. I could tell what they're troubled with or how they're dealing with things. And I can sit there and walk them through the different ways. I don't want to take their vision away from them. I want to keep them on track. But what sometimes we have to do is pull them away from that, let them digest things, and then bring them back to the situation. Because I'll tell you right now, business is not easy. It's stressful. You got politics in business all yourself. Now, I'm not talking politics as in the government or anything else. It's just politics itself in your own business. Everybody has it. And you want to be aware of falling into the trap that you can get yourself into. Some people just worry too much about what other people are saying. I don't really care what other people are saying. I'll be honest with you, because you know what? It's not I don't live their life. Sometimes you're going to see people do that because they're jealous of you. I've seen people come to my events, no word of a lie. They came to my events, took my own paperwork, made it into their paperwork, opened their own business. The exact same thing I was doing. That's okay. That means I'm on the right track. If you don't have haters, you're not doing the job right. You're not doing your job right, because you have to have haters down the line. And I don't mean try and make people hate you either. Just do your passion. Keep with your passion. Keep moving forward. You know what I mean? No matter what struggles you have, it's sweeter on the other side once you get through that passion, right? Once you get through the heartaches and the aches and pains, you're going to be more recognized. You're going to have more people supporting you. Don't hang with the people that are down at the block playing dice. Don't hang with the people that are kicking indoors. Don't hang with the people doing the Nintendo 64 or whatever the hell it is now. Don't hang with those people, because that's who you're going to become. You tell me 5 of your friends, I'll tell you exactly where you're going to end up. Right? If you're hanging around with the people that are making it, hanging around with the millionaires, hanging around with the mindset people, you're going to make it. You're going to make it. It might take some time to sink in. It may not take time. Maybe just kick in right away. But you need to remember one thing. This is your life you're playing with, not somebody else's. And another thing I've noticed in psychology and the things I've done in the past, no matter what you do, you affect 40 people every day. 40 people. You may not know it, but 40 people you affect. It's people surrounding you. It could be your parents, could be your cousins, could be just people down the street. If I'm going down the street and I got an ugly look on my face, do you think someone's going to want to say hi to me? But if I go down the street and I sit there and say, "Hey, how you doing? A beautiful day," they're going to say at least say hi, and they're going to say, "Oh, that's nice of the person to say hi." You know what I mean? I used to walk down the street. People used to walk across the road to get around me because they didn't want to be around me. They were afraid it was going to hurt them or do something. You know, I can't say I got a beautiful past, but I'm going to say I wouldn't change it for the world because it made me the person I am today. Marianne knows it. She knows a lot of my story. She knows a lot of things that happened in my life. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. Marianne also shared with me a lot of different things that she said, okay, listen, if Robert could sit there and tell a story like this, why can't I bring out my story and let people know I've been through things too? I mean, there's a lot of things that a lot of people right here, right now don't know about Marianne. She had a rough go. She had a rough go when she was younger. A lot of people don't know that. They thought, oh, it was nice and easy for her. No, she don't tell it. I mean, she went through war zones and everything else. Come on, Marianne, for a second.
Why do you do this to me?
I love doing it. Put her right on the spot. Get her going. And here we go. Tell that part of it. Tell that part of it that you were actually in the war zone part.
I spent some time in a bomb shelter, and I lived in Croatia at the time of its war. And I used to run to the store because if you didn't run, you were basically a target for the sniperists. So I actually, like, sniperists were out all the time, and I had to run to the store to get groceries. And I was married at the time, and my husband he had to go volunteer. Like, they were either you volunteered or they were going to volunteer you. So he didn't really have a choice. And I lived in a building. And so they took, a certain age, like the middle age. And then when they ran out of people, they started taking 18-year-olds and 17-year-olds and 16-year-olds and some older people, but not past, let's say 60, I guess. I don't know, or 50. I'm not really sure what the age was. And so we had a bunch of gentlemen who were sort of taking charge of our building. So they all had guns, and now everyone had gone, and there was literally one person left. And I used to go upstairs, and because I lived on the 10th floor, so I used to go upstairs, make the coffee, bring it down, and one day I came down and I'm like, where is everyone? And he goes, yeah, they took everyone. It's just me. And I said, what, really? I said, I'll hang out with you. And he goes, no, he goes, your husband would kill me. I go, no, I will. I'll hang out with you. It's cool. So he said, okay. I'll go to my place, which was, I guess, closer because I think he lived right on that floor or something. And he comes back with this big, huge shotgun of some sort. I don't know. It's a big, huge gun. Oh, and I didn't tell you. One day, my husband comes home and he goes, I have something for you. And I'm like, I don't see any flowers. So I'm like, what is it? And he goes, I got you a 9mm gun. And I'm like, oh, instead of flowers, a 9mm gun is what you get.
Nice gift, eh? Nice gift.
And I'm like, okay, great. Because he was gone pretty much all the time. He was one of the first ones to volunteer. So I basically never saw him. And most of the time, I didn't know where he was. And most of the time, he didn't know where he was going. But if he had some sort of connection with a phone or access to a phone, he would call me. But it was like sometimes I didn't hear from him for 2-3 weeks at a time. Didn't know if he was dead or alive. War is very interesting. And this was like back in the late 90s, I guess, or mid 90s. I don't even know. I can't even remember the years anymore. And
people go through things and people don't eat. Other people didn't even know that. People didn't know the stuff I've been through until I tell them. People don't know that. Like when you were sitting there on that couch and we were filming, you said, well, I know I could speak now. You didn't think it mattered to anybody.
I didn't think anybody really cared about hearing that because really at the time it's like whatever, and then we basically had to escape out of Croatia. Well, not we, me. Even though I had a Canadian passport and I was totally legit, the escape part was that we had to drive at night without any lights on until we hit another country because Cyprus, right? And there was just shooting everywhere. So I'm like, who cares? Nobody wants to hear that. It's too negative. And then it's like, and then the abusive sort of household I grew up and stuff. And I always just think, why would people care about hearing that? Like, nobody needs to hear that, but really people do need to hear your story, because you never know who else is listening and how they're taking it and how they can, and how you can help them through that, right? So anyways, yeah. I'm going to stop talking now.
Well, let me just sign off on mine here by saying, by leading with the heart, you can inspire loyalty, creativity, and sense of belonging, ultimately driving greater success to your team and organization. Yeah, I mean, straight out, guys. If you want to achieve things, don't be a flake or something like that. What you got to do is you got to do it from the heart. I mean, I always tell people, listen, if you're underwater, what are you wishing for? You're wishing for air, right? So if you want your dreams to come true, I call it the 18-inch rule. Put it from your head to your heart. If you're putting your dreams from your head to your heart, now you got the 18-inch rule, which is backed up by some motions. If you got an emotion behind that to drive you, you're going to work harder. It's like putting money out. If you put $100,000 out, or even $20 out, you don't want to lose that $20. So you're going to work harder to actually build that trust in that thing that you're building, or what you're doing or learning, or whatever it may be. If you're going to Tony Robbins, you're paying $400 for a seat. You want to learn. You want to learn all you can. You don't want to just go there and not learn something. You want to be able to take something away from there. So, I mean, that's what I mean by putting your head to your emotions down here and putting your dreams come true. That's exactly how it works. You just got to know how to use it properly.
It's so true. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for adjusting your time. And I've been running behind the entire day. We started off, and some of it was techie, and some of it was my fault, and some of it was, we all just kind of went over. Anyways, thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. I couldn't see any of the comments or anything. I'll go back and look at them afterwards and see what's what.
Actually, I was just going to say, Amanda says hi, so that's another one of your.
Andy, yeah, magnetic entrepreneur, guys.
She'll be here shortly. She'll be here shortly, and yeah, so we're all like sisters, and we all play nice in the sandbox.
I'm not a sister.
We're all like brothers and sisters.
Yeah, that's better. I'm not a sister.
No, not you. I meant like her and I.
There's enough of that he want to be shit going around, and I'm a he. I'm a he and Mister, and a story pronoun.
I finally put everything into my title on here: the Reverend, the Doctor,
yeah,
the full name, and then my bank code, because we've got bank code later on at about 2 o'clock.
I wonder what mine would look like if I had all mine on there. Probably wouldn't fit on the screen.
Oh, that's not, yeah, but it's cool. So thank you so much. And thank you as always. Such an inspirational story and everything you do for us, all of us, and us here. And I'm sure you'll be, well, the next one is Healthology. I know that's not your thing.
I know, I'm going to be hosting my one myself too. I just got to make the time. I'm going to put a couple celebrities on there, and I'm going to advertise it around, see who wants to be on there. So
any events you want to talk about or advertise?
Well, it's just I'm putting one together right now for a speaking gig, and I've actually broken records doing the speaking, because Jack Canfield, Satish Verma, Kyle Wilson, they're all on my events. And what happened was I had 11 interpreters all across the world on this event. I think I had about 500,000 viewers at that time on the Zoom calls, and they were all over the place. Like, and I had all these people interpreting. The one, except for the one person ended up falling asleep during it. The interpreter fell asleep.
Oh, well.
So, I mean, they work nights. I mean, I understand they work nights. I just had to make sure that someone that was watching, I had to kick him off so it wouldn't be, and Jack Canfield, he goes, man, I'm amazed. He goes, I've never seen anything like this before. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, Jack's cool. Thank you so much again. And we will see probably in November. So November will be Mindset Mastery. And then
have the thing back now.
Authentic Leaders. No, I already took it back before, so I'm good.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you so much. And I know that you
Cheers.
have crazy busy days, so thank you for taking the time out, and hope JJ's okay and stuff and feeling
I'm gonna
better.
go check on them right now.
Perfect. Thank you so much.